Hi, Lucia here from the Which Money podcast, alongside our weekly episodes where we give you all the best advice on how to make the most of your money. We've launched Money Shorts. Each fortnight we bring you a taster of the Which Money magazine with hand-selected reviews, investigations and features by our award-winning writers brought to life on the podcast. That means you can get a taste of what the Which Money magazine has to offer without paying a penny. So join us every Monday for a brand new episode of Money Shorts, as well as every Friday for your regular episode of the Which Money podcast. Just search for Which Money wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello and welcome to the Which Shorts podcast. I'm James Rowe. This is the podcast that brings you the very best from Which, with a weekly taster of some of the brilliant journalism you can expect from your suite of magazines. This week we're looking at the energy efficiency of your home. In the July edition of the Which magazine, Karen Lawrence investigated the world of energy surveys, which are meant to provide clarity on how energy efficient your home is, but instead they seem to give confusing and inaccurate results. Here's her piece, read by the presenter of the Which Get Answers podcast, Harry Kind.
There are many reasons to take note of your home's energy efficiency. Typically, you'll need a valid energy assessment if you're selling your home or renting it out. But even if you're not, it's worth knowing where you can make improvements. Due to high energy costs and a growing desire to reduce their environmental impact, homeowners are increasingly thinking about making changes that will cut both carbon emissions and bills. The first step is to get a home energy assessment. In most cases, that means finding a qualified domestic energy assessor, or DEA, to produce an energy performance certificate, an EPC. But this system has limitations. When we ask for feedback from Which members about inaccurate EPCs, we receive more than 40 responses with tales of incompetent surveyors and incorrect assumptions. To find out more, we booked EPC assessments for 12 households and asked them to rate the survey and EPC report. We found that homeowners often aren't getting what they paid for. So why is an EPC important? Introduced in 2007, EPCs were designed as a simple way for prospective buyers or renters to compare homes' energy use. Since then, around 65% of homes have had at least one. In 2023, more than 1.6 million EPCs were lodged in England and Wales alone. Each EPC gives a rating between A, very efficient, and G, inefficient, and recommends cost-effective improvements. A valid EPC must be available when a home is marketed for sale or rent. Landlords can't legally rent out a property rated F or G. Inaccurate ratings could cost home movers a significant sum. According to property website Rightmove, a greener home can command a higher price, with an average of almost £56,000 more for homes that have improved from an EPC rating of F to C. Such an update may also suggest other modernisations, so it's hard to pinpoint exactly why the price difference is so large. An incorrect EPC rating could also restrict your access to green mortgages and loans. In 2019, researchers at Leeds Beckett University found issues with 27% of EPCs that suggest they're incorrect and estimated the real error rate to be 36 to 62%. Research from UCL Energy Institute at the University College London in 2019 found evidence that measurement errors compromise the reliability of EPCs, resulting in homes being rated in the wrong EPC band. They estimated that 24% of Band D homes are rated as Band C. In 2020, the UK government recognised shortcomings in the system and published an EPC action plan aiming to provide a trusted, accurate and reliable measure of a building's energy performance. However, progress stalled. Getting back to our own EPC assessments, we picked 12 homeowners across England, Scotland and Wales and booked EPC assessments on their behalf during February and March 2024. The properties dated from 1999 all the way back to 1650 and ranged from a one-bed flat to a 5-bedroom detached house. The results uncovered issues with the way surveys are carried out, the accuracy of the ratings, and the recommendations received. One homeowner never even received their EPC. The assessor carried out a survey but failed to deliver the results. The fee was refunded. Of the remaining 11 participants, just 1 was very satisfied with their EPC, and only 3 were likely to recommend getting one based on this experience. Most participants, 8 out of 11, told us their EPC did not appear to be accurate. Some said the survey seemed superficial, many assumptions were made, and there were errors in the final EPC. The time spent carrying out the survey varied greatly. One assessor spent just 6 minutes at the property, whereas others took more than an hour. The price paid for assessments ranged from £47 to £85, but it wasn't always related to property size. Neither the length nor the cost of the survey had a correlation with the perceived quality, how satisfied the homeowners were with their EPC, or whether they felt it was accurate. We found inaccuracies in the EPCs relating to construction types, insulation, heating, and solar panels. One EPC had significant errors, resulting in a rating that was out by 2 bands. Which members Peter and Carol received a D rating on their 1980s 4-bedroom semi-detached bungalow in Aberdeenshire. On receipt of the EPC, the couple noticed several discrepancies, including no mention of their solar panels or the underfloor insulation, despite discussing this with the assessor at the time of the inspection. Now, because of this, we contacted the assessor to point out the mistakes. And after checking his survey notes, he admitted that there were omissions, which he blamed on the software, and offered to supply a new EPC. The assessor issued a new, corrected EPC with an improved B rating for energy efficiency. Peter and Carol said, "We are happy with the new rating, but our experience shows the importance of checking your EPC and getting it corrected if necessary." Other participants said recommendations were typically not financially viable or worthwhile for the potential gains. One EPC suggested changes that could take nearly 3 decades to recoup the outlay. Which member Megan Dobney's 2-bedroom Victorian terraced house in London got a D rating for energy efficiency. The EPC recommended several improvements, including wall insulation, floor insulation, solar water heating, and solar panels. Implementing these 4 recommendations would have cost between £12,000 and £27,000. Even after investing such a significant sum, the property would rise by just 1 band, from D to C. The EPC shows projected annual savings totalling £920. This means it could take up to 29 years to recover the outlay at the highest estimated cost, or a more reasonable 13 years at the lowest. And it's not just about the money. Insulation for walls and suspended floors is typically time-consuming and messy to install. Megan said, "The recommended changes are extremely expensive for small savings each year and would require massive disruption. For this terrace property, insulation costs may be towards the lower end of the scale, making it a more attractive option, and potentially worth the upheaval. However, the EPC is just too imprecise to be helpful." A number of EPCs made similar recommendations, but while projected savings were bespoke to the property, the same wide price range was quoted for the work. For example, internal or external wall insulation was suggested at a cost of £4,000 to £14,000 for both a 2-bedroom mid-terrace and a 4-bedroom detached house. Such broad figures could put people off when the cost for their own property might be far lower than the maximums quoted. 2 of the most important aspects of an EPC, the energy efficiency rating and recommended improvements, are too often inaccurate and unhelpful. We're calling on the next UK government and the current Scottish one to make EPCs fit for purpose. To improve accuracy and reliability, we want higher standards from assessors, a review of training requirements, improvements to EPC auditing, and easier ways for consumers to rate assessors. In the meantime, here are some handy ways to help improve the accuracy of a home energy assessment. 1. Prepare for an assessor's visit by making sure all areas are accessible. They will need to be able to see all rooms and windows and have access to the loft and boiler. 2. Gather documents such as receipts, guarantees and permissions for any work done to the property, especially insulation. Photos can be useful evidence too. 3. During the assessor's visit, you don't need to walk around with them, but be available to answer any questions they might have as fully as possible. 4. Make the assessor aware of any building work, insulation, solar panels or other improvements to the property and let them see the evidence if required. 5. When you receive the EPC, check every section thoroughly to ensure it's correct. Make sure the descriptions include insulation where you know it exists. 6. If anything doesn't look right, contact the assessor straight away with your concerns. They should rectify errors and issue a new EPC at no additional cost. 7. If your concerns aren't adequately addressed and you still feel your EPC is inaccurate, you can complain to the accreditation scheme listed on the EPC. And 8. An EPC doesn't cover everything. For tailored advice on improving your home's efficiency, contact a retrofit assessor for an in-depth survey and bespoke plan.
Harry Kind was reading that piece by Karen Lawrence, originally published in Which Magazine's July edition. Did you know that you can get this monthly magazine delivered direct to your door by becoming a subscriber? Check out the link in the show notes to find out more. And why not get a taster of what the Which Money magazine has to offer by listening to Money Shorts on the Which Money podcast feed? Every fortnight we handpick a brilliant piece from the Money magazine and bring it to life, just like we do here on Which Shorts. Just search Which Money wherever you're listening. And you can find even more articles you'll find useful every day on everything from living more sustainably to making the most of your summer holiday by signing up to one of our many free email newsletters at which.co.uk/newsletters. We'll be back next week for another episode of Which Shorts. Thanks for listening. Which Shorts was produced and edited by me, James Rowe, while the exec producer was Grace Farrell.
Hi, Lucia here from the Which Money podcast. Join us each week as we bring you the best experts and top advice to help you make the most of your money. From property prices to budgeting, investment platforms to pensions, we'll be here to keep you informed. Not only that, but we've just launched Money Shorts. These are brand new fortnightly episodes that will give you a taster of the Which Money magazine that is delivered to members every other month. So to hear the main podcast and our brand new Money Shorts episodes, just search for Which Money wherever you get your podcasts.